All right, welcome back to Black Lodge Trivia Night. This is Art, and we are doing a space trucking check-in on X3. It's been a little while. Let's continue. So when we last left, I think, I just said I'm not going to do like a continuous play of this one because it's just not that kind of game. But I did say I would check in. And so, I've been playing a little bit. Wanted to see what was going on. In the first one, I did some trading of basic goods.
Ship ID 67883, please clear the docking bay. Your docking permit has expired.
Feels like your lights are on announcement at the restaurant. I was doing some simple trading, and I knew it was going to be a grind. I took the start that might be financially the hardest, which is you have just a small basic ship. Even the humble merchant start, which is sort of like the starting trading position, gives you 2 ships. And usually people just sell one, get quick cash, and use that to get the other one up and running. I didn't even have that luxury. I just started with $1,000 in my pocket. And I got it going. So what I did was, let's get out of here. Let's undock. So let's talk about where we're at now. Still in the same ship. I'm gonna pilot us away from some asteroids just so I can talk for a minute. Same ship. Let me zoom out a little bit. Give a little... Ship's been upgraded though. Let's see if we can go into that a little bit. My property...
The Argon Buster was once the pride of the Argon fleet and was instrumental in the Argon victory in the Xenon conflict. However, during the Boron campaign, it was superseded by the Argon elite.
So it's an older model, but the codes still check out. But you can see, speed 175. That's upgraded. It used to be like 90 or something, so I upgraded the speed to max. Does it talk about freight? 108 units. I upgraded that to the max. I installed... Let's see if it'll show some of the things that I've installed. Maxed out the engine tuning, rudder optimization, cargo bay extension. I got a Best Buy locator, best selling price locator. I had the boost extension, I think. This is the weird thing. I've got a duplex scanner and a triplex scanner. Basically what those do is they give you extended range on your maps. I'll show you that in a sec. I got the trading system extension, which all this stuff again helps get prices faster. So you can, do that stuff a little quicker. I got the video enhancement goggle. So now when let's go back into the cockpit. So if I do this now, get a little bit of a zoom. How do you unzoom? That's pretty... How do you get out of that? Okay, well that's one way to do it. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. But, yeah, so now if I go to the map, you can see like this circle around my ship. That's the triplex scanner. So that used to be much smaller, so I get a lot more of what's going on in the system without having to do anything. As you can see, I'm also in... Seaswell. I explored a little bit more of the map. I wouldn't say it was a crazy amount, but I'll tell you. But I did a lot of. So I was doing like energy cells locally, and then I was doing like Delaxian wheat or something like that. Kahuna meat steaks became a thing I did for a while. Bofu, which is the food product in. I don't think it's Talati space. I don't know what space this is. Boron. It says here the Boron and Talati. So, Boron space, they sell Bofu. So if I click in on here, you might have Bofu.
A Bofu chemical lab manufactures Bofu meals. The Bofu is then transported to the various Boron space stations and other Boron factories, where it is the main food product.
So I was doing that for a little while, because usually you could get that for like 200, and then even if you couldn't find a station buying it for 300, the main trading stations basically always pay 290. So I was always making like 90 bucks a pop at least on each unit that I was trading. And I used that to, get the, I'll show you like the trading extension. Like, so if I had any cargo on me, like my laser, it'll tell me like what's the best place to sell it locally. So here I can look at a best buy and I can see, okay, what's the average credit? What's the minimum credit sold price that I can hit? And then what are we looking at? So like here, if I could have a ship big enough to do ore, I could buy looks like ore mine L Beta is right now selling ore for 50 a unit. Average sale is 128, so you can sort of see the price you can make. All these things sort of like get you up and running in the trading aspects a lot more smoothly. And then what I can also do is, whoops, wrong button. I can also, because I have that trading extension, I can go here and get the info.
Mines are mainly built around small asteroids because of the higher productivity that the low gravity of asteroids.
So the point is that like with the trading system extension, I can see the prices on stations without actually landing on them. And then with like this best price, best sell locators, I can get like rundowns for the whole system. I still can't though. I haven't gotten any satellites, so I still don't have the capacity to say remotely look at Atreus's cloud and see what the prices are. If I had a satellite in the system, I could get those numbers, but I don't at the moment. I held off for that. The satellites can range from like $6,000 to $8,000 a pop. Yeah, it's, man. But I was like, yes, it would make things a little bit easier, but that's money I could put towards something else. And eventually just doing Bofu runs and meat steak kahunas, and I ended up getting 100K. Not bad, right? And then I was like, okay, 100K, but the ships I'm looking at are still going to be hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Stations are hundreds of thousands, if not millions. So I was still a long way from doing anything. And then I, decided, not that I uncovered all of this on my own, but I decided, let's take a look at the stock markets, because I know that's something in this game here that I never really messed with in my limited time in X3. And so if you go to Argon Prime, there is a stock market, if I can get to it. Argon Prime, there we go. So if we double click on there, there's a stock exchange. Now, I don't know if it's going to tell me much here.
Changes to galactic laws which legalized open trading of stocks and shares, the Teladi Company quickly established a number of these stock exchanges. Anyone with a few credits can now purchase shares in a variety of commodities, companies, and corporations. Even in the short time that these stations have been trading, many fortunes have been gained and lost. Each transaction incurs a small brokerage fee, which the Teladi Company claims for services rendered.
Okay. Oh, it's interesting that Teladi run the stock exchanges. I think they're supposed to be like the economic engine kind of race. They're driven by profits. I believe that's the idea. But so you see here, the Argon trade authorities have restricted access to the stock market to individuals who would own at least one station in Argon space. I was never going to get there. I mean, I would, but like that was going to be the grind. But then in Seaswell, in Teladi space, there is also a stock market, which I didn't know necessarily going in, but as I started, running around, checking out some different systems, I was trying to find something besides Bofu that might be interesting to trade. And I stumbled across Teladi space here, Teladi Gains, Seaswell. Got to Seaswell and then saw, there's a stock exchange. And then everything they say, and they being YouTubers or people talking about the X3 games 15 years ago about stock exchanges, they're all right. It's all correct because it is a stupid way to make money. So I said, like, I made 100,000 on trades. Now, if you look at my total amount here, I renamed my character to Coop. I renamed my ship to the Owl to get that Black Lodge Trivia Night Twin Peaks branding in full force. I have almost 7 million credits, and it's all from trading stock. So what the recommendations are on YouTube is you find something that's green in its index. Is that the index? Is that what that is? Index, yeah. Because what that means, I'm not a trade expert, but the general idea is if you look at it's trading at a certain amount, it might be how close it is to its minimum, or maybe it has something to do with the supply and demand. But the point is, obviously, they very clearly color code it so that green is good. So what you can do is, I bought it at 40, it's now trading at 36. So I've already lost a little bit. I bought it at 87 for its index, it's at 91. Let's see if I can stop my ship. No, it won't let me do it in the menu. So what you do is you just stop, get the stock exchange going again, and you just watch that one thing you bought. Now, I can basically just see the available shares are zero. I can basically, at this point in time, have enough money to buy out. I basically spent $1 million on this stock. I have enough to buy out a supply of an individual share. You hit SETA, and you just watch to see if that fluctuates. Now, you want to see it go down. I want to see it go red. So now you see I just made 240,000 if I sold it now. Because the index went down to 75, which means the price is changing. So 240,000, nope. Now I'm only making 31, but there are certain ones that kind of fluctuate pretty wildly. I found biological microorganisms to be one that could drop as low as 50 or 60. And if it does, you make a ton of money. Construction equipment was another one that I had good luck with. What else did I have good luck? Some I had bad luck with. Basically, the ones I had good luck with were all in this natural column. When I tried some ore down below, that just didn't. I might still have ore. So you see I have 330,000 tied up or whatever, because that just doesn't change enough. What is it trading at? Yeah, that one, it doesn't move. And what you're really wanting to happen is you're wanting to buy it, and then you're wanting it to just fluctuate like crazy. So again, you hit J, you let SETA do its thing for a while, and you just watch the number. And, on a couple of these things, sometimes I'd make 100,000, like literally in a minute and a half of just waiting. Sometimes I'd make 1 million. Like, it got kind of ridiculous. And so my takeaway on the stock exchange is twofold. One, it's absolutely, if you want it to be, game breaking, if you're only here to watch the numbers go up, it's game breaking in that sense. You don't have to do anything, and you can just make piles and piles of money. So again, I'm at 287,000. If I sell now, it's at 73. It looks like it's got these little carrots next to it. I think that means like it dropped and then it held steady. I think it's sort of like two phases of whatever. I think that's what the carrots next to it mean. But I don't honestly know. I just know that I watch it and I make a little money. But at the same time, like, I give this game credit. Like, I think the stock market might just be a bunch of random number generators. Who knows? Maybe it actually is tracking something. Maybe there are ways that, supply, demand, like, because it does track a lot of things in game. So maybe if you were to like start a war and blow a bunch of stuff up where biological microorganisms are a thing, that's what I just don't know, right? But, I'm glad it's here for two reasons. One, because, yeah, it's an economics game. So if you want to do economics, if you want to trade while other economic engines are coming along, why not? And it is satisfying to watch the numbers go up. Of course, now I'm down 363,000, but whatever. Now you can see the index is 105, so it's trading at its minimum. Okay, so I think then the index must somehow be involved with the supply and demand. Because, like, maybe supply is like 107% of 100% demand. I don't know. But again, like I said, I don't exactly know what the numbers mean. I just know that if you buy something at an index that's green, that's usually a decent price. I'll try and link to one of the videos I watched where they said usually you're looking for an index over 80. So it's not brain surgery, clearly, because I made $6 million doing this. So, but that's, so the first reason, like I said, I'm glad it's there because this is, part of an economics engine. Why not throw it in there? It makes sense. The second reason is because it allowed me, like I said early on, I took maybe the hardest start economically. And it's not hard in the sense like requiring skill. It's hard in the sense that it's just going to require grinding time. Just grind. And I don't mind it because, like I said, this is kind of a chill experience, like where you just, hit the set a drive and have it compress time to get to the station really quick if you want to trade fast. But if you're listening to a podcast or watching something on a second monitor, leave it off and just enjoy the scenery and pay attention to the other thing. Anyway. But it allowed me to get $6,800,000. And that's going to be the seed for my financial empire. So it allowed me, I don't want to say it allowed me to shortcut it, because I spent a lot of hours getting that first pile up to 100,000. So that when I bought stocks, and I probably could have got in earlier, the Talati requirements for getting into the stock market is you have to pay a $10,000 trading fee, which, when you have 100 grand, obviously, then you're like, oh yeah, no big deal. But that's part of why I didn't really want to mess with the satellites, because at 6,000 to 8,000 pop, that's almost 10% of my pot. So I didn't want to like blow that percentage on a couple of satellites. I was like, I didn't know what the stock market would be like. I just knew it existed and what to look for. I didn't realize it would happen that fast. So I don't know. But I'm glad it did, because now I can, instead of as a, point of pride, scratching out every, credit, 10 credits, 100 credits, I can get to the next, phase of the game and see what that's like. And so, okay, I have SETA. I was just making sure I had SETA activated, because I don't want to lose 200,000 on this just for no reason. So I'm hoping this starts, so it's had 2 cycles of going down. I made 100,000. See if it goes down a little bit more. 300. Let's sell. Just so we can, Okay, so we just made 300,000. Now that took, I could have made 300,000 like 5 minutes ago. So, but that's it. That's the stock market. So now I should have, if I go to my pilot, my property, info.
The Argon Buster was once the pride of the...
Nope. My pilot status, is that where it is? Okay, so now, yeah, I used to have 6,800,000. Now I've got 7 million. So we are good. We've got some money. So let's go back to Argon space with our newfound riches. And let's go, I don't know, buy some shit. Which is why I sort of wanted to jump back in now, because first of all, let's look at some ships. So let's go to the shipyard. We'll autopilot there.
Granted. Autopilot activated.
I'm just kind of curious what we can get now. Obviously we can probably afford just about any ship we want and sort of get it up and running with some accoutrement. At the same time, though, I have to think about that. Like, do I want to be piloting around like an extra large freighter that's not probably going to be able to, I imagine that might not be able to land at everything, or maybe it's just the type of cargo. I genuinely don't know. Um, it's hard to say. But we'll head to the shipyard. I think what I'll definitely do is I'm gonna get more than one ship. I think the time is now for starting my fleet at a minimum. I could also buy a station, like even if it's just like a simple station. There's a part of me that might want to get like an energy, a solar power plant going, just because I can either sell it or I can not sell its output and use it
system profit share
to keep another factory I own up and running. We'll have to see how it goes. Again, this is the stuff like I have played a ton of Extension. I have never spent a ton of time, and I can't remember if you could own factories in Extension. I've never spent a ton of time owning factories in X games. I've owned ships, I've had a little bit of a fleet going, I've had some stuff like that, but I've never really owned... I don't have a ton of experience owning stations. And then I was watching this one guy's X4 video. Man, he's a pretty big X4 streamer. I need to jot this down. Just get a notebook so I could write down.
Entering system CO's Buckzoid.
How do you say that? Oh, CO's Buckzoid. Okay. So let me see. I need stock trading video. And then I'll see if I can find the X4 stream where I saw the guy building a station. And again, I feel bad saying this. What I saw, or maybe I'll just post any video about how to build a Station X4. And maybe it's just because I can't wrap my head around it, or I haven't wrapped my head around it yet, but I just do not... I don't find that appealing. It just didn't look fun, like sort of like arranging things on an XYZ axis and like link. It felt like overly complicated Valheim or
Menelaus's frontier.
But maybe if I understood it better and I wasn't so intimidated by it, which, let's be honest, that's the real thing, I might find it more interesting. And I think if I were to do this again, or if maybe, because I think I said in the first session, like I wouldn't mind this as an onboarding for X4 to finally get my courage up to really play that someday. And I was like, yeah, but at least I would then know to not take the hardest economic starting point, but I'm like, maybe I would do it regardless, just to do it. Because it does two things. One, I think we're about to get a lot of lawnmowers going on here, so I apologize. It does a couple of things. First, it's not a meaningful point of pride. Nobody gives a shit, obviously. But I can say, like, yeah, when you get to, the C-suite and you're overlooking your empire, you can be like, you know what, I literally started, with 2 nickels that I could rub together. And again, I apologize for noise in the background. It was not there when I started, but that's the trick of trying to squeeze stuff like this in around busy life schedules. I think I said in the first session, like, I picture the start sort of like Woz and Jobs in the garage with the first Apple. Again, I think that red icon there means there's like a assassination kind of mission that I could take. Which again is something that we can maybe start to explore more, because this ship is not built for dogfighting, but I might be able to get a vessel that is, and then get something that trades.
Entering system, Atreus's clouds.
Now there's a system around, maybe it's Heron's Nebula, that has a lot of mines and not a lot of solar cell factories. So maybe I'll put something there. I might have seen that in a video somewhere. Again, I can't claim any of these ideas completely as my own. Like, these games are so well known. There's so many videos out there. I'm sure in watching one somewhere, how do you, so if I tab, so if I, what is it, shift? How do I undo that? Nope. I shift. That's crazy. Okay, so that's the end of it. So I found that, yeah, if I switch to like an external view and then switch back, it gets rid of it, but I feel like there's got to be a cleaner way.
Entering system, the whole.
All right, what is that called again? I'm just trying to Google it really quickly. Property, look at the ship, info.
The Argon Buster was once the pride of the
Video
Argon
enhancement
fleet,
goggles, okay.
and was instrumental in the Argon victory in the Xenon conflict. However, during the Boron campaign, it was superseded by the Argon elite.
Okay, so I'm trying to see. Somebody's saying press the left. Oh, this is X2, the threat. That doesn't help. So what they're saying is if you... It's like if you let go, it's supposed to zoom back out, but it doesn't. So let's see if there's a... Oh, there we go. Okay, so you just leave it alone for a minute. It zoomed. Okay, good, good. Okay, so that's it.
Entering system, the wall.
So we're in the wall, which is... We're getting there. So yeah, maybe I'll stick a solar thing here in Heron's Nebula. We'll start with that. But I think I was saying earlier, the thing that's nice about like this arduous starting point is that you don't need to know a lot of things all at once. I think I was saying this maybe in the first session, like all I need to know is like I need to go trade energy cells. Like I don't need to know what everything means. I don't need to know where everything is. I just need to know how to buy energy at around 12 or 13 and sell it at like 18. And I find that's really helpful when you have like these incredibly broad, deep sandbox, etc., etc. The idea that the initial portion of it is a little railroaded, a little narrower of a focus, I think really helps. I was listening to Mastering the RPG. Let me write this down because it was like their last. They haven't put out an episode in probably a couple of months. I think this was from their last one, which was March. At the time of this recording, March of 2025. And at one point they're talking about, one of the hosts actually makes that point, the idea that running, narrative-focused games or sandbox-focused games was part of the discussion. And one of the guys is like, yeah, when I do a sandbox, I always like to make the beginning of it narrative. And I always had that same, I was just talking about it here, I always had that same approach. And it'll be interesting in with Black Lodge Trivia Night, because the design of the rotation is not conducive to just an open-ended sandbox kind of game. So I don't know, and we even talked about it, I think, in one of our Damn Fine Coffee podcasts, how we actually like the narrative-driven, more railroady approach, but I guess we'll see, because sometimes I have ideas for, like, I mentioned like this, like homebrew fantasy setting. Part of it is meant to be a little bit more sandboxy, but the things I have in mind that would kick it off are all very much not that. And I'm kind of wondering, like, would it ever make the transition, or would it always remain?
Entering system, Argon Prime.
Okay, so what I'm going to do here, now that we're here, we need a couple of things. We need a ship that's big enough to transport a station. And I don't know how to tell.
The Colossus is the main carrier of the Argon military. As new technologies have been developed in recent years, the design has undergone several major overhauls, with a large hangar.
Okay, so that's a military ship. We don't need that. What we need is a hauler?
The Argon Discoverer, compared to other ships in the Argon fleet, is relatively young.
Yeah, that's not right. But so basically, when we're ready to buy a station, we need to employ a freelance pilot that can help us get it there. And I don't know how to tell where that is. Got food transporters, agricultural but none of these are what I think I need. Goods transporters, passenger shuttles, an advertising agency. Pest control, taxi services. Let me see if I can Google that real quick. X3. Albion Prelude. Spell it right. Ship. Transport. God, I didn't spell any of these words right. Transport stations. Okay, you need a TL to buy and build stations. You can either buy one or hire one. What's TL? Okay, you need a TL class ship, An Argon supply mammoth. That's what I was looking for, was mammoth. Which I don't see one. I'm actually curious how much they cost. Like, could I... Okay, let's look just at ships. Yeah, I'm not seeing a mammoth. Yeah, let's get to the shipyard. We're going to start by buying ships instead of stations. So let's start with that and take a look.
Successfully docked.
On behalf of our President and Senator, the Argon Federation welcomes friends aboard.
Connection to local trading network established.
Oh, did I actually go to the... Or is it all in the same thing? So, like, what? So one thought I had was I could get a solar power plant. It's only...
Flight engineers report to docking bay 4 immediately.
That seems like a lot. 4,900,000. Like a Kahuna Bakery medium. Like, some of these are a lot cheaper. So a mammoth is 28 million, so I'm clearly not going to do
The
that.
Centaur was developed by Argon shipwrights in Omicron Lyrae. It is larger than a freighter or small.
Interestingly enough, not the most
The
expensive.
Griffin is the Federal Argon Navy's attempt to provide a credible anti-fighter capability without endangering pilots. It can deploy a large number of Mk2 fighter drones quickly and then escape to safety.
Okay, so let's take a look at, we got heavy tankers. That would be something we could swing. What's a Nova?
When the long-serving Argon elite was retired, the Argon military was left without an M3 fighter until a group of shipwrights in Omicron Lyrae put forward plans for a new type of ship. Shortly afterwards, the Nova was born, and after 2 years of testing, virtually all of the older elite-class ships had been replaced by this new craft.
Okay, good to know. So we've got the Novas are the modern fighters. We got the elite class as the older ones. We could get a Discoverer hauler. Those weren't that impressive, though, if I remember.
The Argon Discoverer
Cargo bay only goes
other
up to
ships
67
in the
units, which
Argon
is not
fleet
great.
Is relatively young. It is armed with 2
Let's look at this
lasers.
one.
Mercury is the latest addition to the Argon merchant fleet, and it is a worthy successor to the Argon Lifter. Armed with an aft turret for defensive purposes and increased shield space, the Mercury is more than capable of defending itself.
Okay. What's this Mercury?
Mercury is the latest addition to the Argon merchant fleet, and it is a worthy successor to the Argon Lifter.
Okay, so this,
Armed with
you know,
an
has a
aft
decent
turret
cargo
for
space.
defensive purposes and increased shield space, the Mercury is more than capable of defending itself.
Yeah, that's, it's got a decent amount of cargo base. Starts with 3,000 units. It can handle XL level things like ore and silicon wafers, which this is one of the things I have not been able to do, and it's been sort of part of what made starting out so hard. So let's, can I even buy one? It says they got 0 in stock.
Products are not bought.
What's the small at? What's this one? Express. They have this. What's this got?
Mercury is the latest addition to the Argon merchant fleet, and it is a worthy successor to the Argon Lifter. Armed with an aft turret for defensive purposes.
Okay, so I don't want
increased
to... I'm
shield
nervous
space,
because...
the Mercury is more than capable of defending itself.
I'm nervous. It says it's an XL, which means it can transport XL class. But I'm nervous that I won't be able to land at everything because, you see stations of like medium, large. Maybe that's what, yeah, maybe this will be fine because that's S, maybe medium and large. Yeah, let's do it. No, I don't want to buy 10.
Products are not bought.
Just want to buy, which one I was looking at? This one? Let's get one.
Warning.
Ship ordered at shipyard.
All right, so it's going to have it included as trade command software MK1, which means I'm going to be able to tell it where to go. It's very micromanagey though, so we'll have to see what other things I might. And now it might be because I've got another ship going on here. I might need to start looking at getting satellites.
This is special ammunition for use in the mass driver.
So we're going to upgrade.
Each projectile is...
Okay, so it's not going to. So we're going to give it a boost extension.
This boost extension installed.
The triplex scanners cannot be bought here. I think I got mine in either boron or Telati space.
In the duplex scanner with an increased duplex
so I'll get one of those.
Scanner installed.
Navigation command. What does this do? Does it come with a SETI? I don't know if it needs that, but we'll get him one.
Singularity engine time accelerator installed. Products are not bought.
I'm just getting this stuff.
System extension.
I don't know if I need it.
Supply command software. Special command software MK1 installed.
But this way, like if I ever take it over.
Installed.
Let's engine tune the crap out of it.
Engine tuning installed. Rudder optimization installed. Your
looks like we could
cargo
probably
bay will
go
be extended by a certain amount of cargo units using subspace compression technology.
Okay, so that's going to cost me 962,000.
Because cargo
Let's do
bay
it.
Extension installed.
I don't need it. No, if you need both, I'll get it.
Installed. Pilots whose spaceships are equipped with a freight scanner can see exactly what is inside other ships they scan. Oftentimes, the mineral scanner.
Let's do this and let's get in an ore collector.
Ore collector installed.
Okay. Cool. I don't know how to sell things. Okay, so the next thing is, I think we've got a buster. We're going to lose that. What's it? An elite. I might go a little high for my own ship. Oh, I can't buy this one. Let me get a Nova.
Ship ordered at shipyard.
And again, we're going to do the works. This might be my personal ship.
Installed.
It's not meant to be,
cargo bay extension.
but it is supposed to be fast.
Boost duplex scanner installed. Freight scan mineral scanner installed. Singularity engine time accelerator installed. Trading system extension installed. Supply special command software.
I'm just getting all of it because again, I might
software
let this do its own thing at some point.
Navigation command installed. Installed.
Okay, that's maxed out. I guess I could put
the
like a
200 megajoule. Small fighters and scout ships.
Yeah, that's too. I think that's too big for this. So we've got a shield.
This is a basic.
It's got a phased repeater gun. Can I
A
put...
weapon found in some medium and large fighters. Design. This is special ammunition for use in the mass driver.
Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Do I have a weapon? That's all I need to know. Phased repeater. I can get another one. That might be it. If I get rid of this, can I get one of these? No.
Phased repeater gun installed.
Again, I'm not really looking to fight yet.
This is a basic laser.
Okay. Alright, you're Nova Vanguard. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to...
When the long-serving Argon elite was retired, the Argon military was...
What I need to do is I need to basically figure out how to get to the other ship.
You are reminded that lottery tickets
Okay,
are
so now I'm in
available
here, so
from
now we
all
can go-
retail outlets in this station.
Let me see if I'm able to sell this. I guess I could just have a trade. Let me,
The Argon Buster was once the pride of the Argon fleet.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing, obviously. Let's... We're gonna rename this... Nova Owl. What I'm gonna do next is then go to... I don't know what. Buster. OG, why not? Okay. Wish I knew more birds in Twin Peaks universe, but that's fine. I forget the one that talked and was like a witness to the murder. Let's just rename this Mercury Tanker. I don't know how big I expect my empire to get, but there we go. So now let me see if it'll let me sell this. So if I go back to the station, trade. If I wanted to sell it, could I?
Attention, Sector Tour Flight 468.
I have no idea. So let's undock. Not quite a cockpit, but it's a little bit of something at least. Let's accelerate. Again, top speed in the last one was 175. This is 165, so it's a little slower. I think you can make the argument that it is 47% more bitchin'. Maybe not. But there we go. So we got that going on. I feel like it's not bad. So let's go back into the cockpit. Let's slow this down. And then we're going to start going to my property. Let's see if I can talk to this. Orders. Command console. So what I want to do is I want it to trade. Oof. Man, what do I want it to do? Manual trade by I was way up here. This is getting a little too complicated. What I wanted to do, I was wondering if I could just do the Bofu runs that I was doing on my own. Here in Menelaus's Frontier. Manual trade run. Let's try that.
Command
Okay, so I did it
accepted.
backwards, but let me try it again. Okay, so manual trade run. We're going to go from... Now, the problem is I wish I could tell it, like, hey, choose the one that has the best price. We're going to select Bofu, and then we're going to go to trading station.
Command accepted.
Because, again, I was making, you know... It's making a little bit of scratch doing that, so I'll just so it's doing something in the meantime. Just make sure I can shoot. Okay, I can. So there you go, you can see my ship taking off and doing its thing.
Mercury Tanker XL. Autopilot activated.
So there you go, first ship in the fleet. Again, that was part of the reason why I wanted to, you know, check back in with this game. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know, my intention is to now maybe have my other ship do something as well. I don't know what yet. What I should probably do... I should probably have this ship go to, like, the wherever I got some of the other software. Like the trade kind of software to get best prices. I should probably get that for this ship as well. I could probably sell the Buster. Yeah, here we are. We're, you know, again, our ship's heading towards that east gate. I'm not going to go through the gate. Yeah, witnessing the first steps of this empire. Now, I think whatever those... I think it'd be hard for me to lose money selling Bofu on that run, so it's just how much can I get? Alright, so let's
Autopilot off.
let that go on its way. And let's head back to wherever... I don't know how to sell.
Docking granted. Autopilot activated.
Yeah, it's interesting that this has a slower top speed.
No aim. Federal Argonne Shipyard. Successfully docked.
On behalf of our President and Senator, the
Connection to local trading network established.
Okay, here we go. So I can get
The
412.
Argonne Buster was once the pride of the Argonne fleet and was instrumental.
Please remember to return.
Not sure why it's not letting me pull that off.
The Argonne Buster.
There we go. I was just doing it the wrong direction. Okay. You see the arm goes up now because my ship's no longer there. We got a couple things. We got a Kahuna factory. I've got
Kahuna bakeries are huge orbit factories
3.5 million
processing Argnu beef into
credits left.
solar power plants produce energy. They are found everywhere in the known universe and are operated and controlled by all races.
Where can I put a Kahuna bakery? That I can afford. Where? Because that was something. The meat steak stuff. That was something I was. Here might not be a bad thing because there's cattle ranches
Argonne cattle ranch.
that produce the beef. So cloud-based Northwest might be a good place.
You cannot buy this factory at the moment because you do not have the necessary storage space.
There we go. Okay, so I need to find that mammoth and hire it. So let's you know what I might do?
Argonne Space Equipment Docks are the locations in Argonne territory for upgrading space vehicles.
Trying to see if I could find a
This station manufactures advanced satellites. In addition to the regular navigation relay satellite, advanced satellites feature video capture technology. The factory
I'm looking for the navigation satellites. That's what I'm hoping to find.
Argonne Space Equipment Docks are the locations in Argonne territory for shipyards are the heart and soul of
Okay, the main thing is we need to find
TerraCorp headquarters has made a significant
Oh, this is where I should have sent my ship. You get the Best
to
Buy
the
breast.
Argonne economy and has in recent years become a one-stop shop for entrepreneurs equipping ships
I can
for
get a
a
jump
variety
drive.
of tasks.
I think you need to have
TerraCorp's strong
energy cells on
mercantile
board to
base
do that.
has allowed it to develop a formidable
Let's go there. Start with that.
docking granted, autopilot activated. Entering system, home of light.
they shooting it? I thought there was a ship down to on the lower left of the screen that looked like it was firing off rounds.
Successfully docked.
On behalf of our President and Senator, the Argon
Let's
Federation
get a law enforcement
welcomes
license.
friends aboard.
Connection to local trading network established.
Get one of these.
Best buys, best-selling, price low. Bioscanner installed. Jump drive installed. Trade command software MK3 installed. Transporter device installed.
What does that do? I'm just getting everything.
TerraCorp headquarters has made a typical Argon space station used throughout Argon Federation territory.
Okay, again, as far as ships, if I can find a mammoth, that would be great. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause this for now, and I'll see if I can track down a mammoth, then I'll jump back in and see what's up. Alright, so I'm unpaused, I'm back, and we found our Argon supply mammoth, and we're going to communicate.
You are talking to the automated interaction system. Make your request.
We're receiving your incoming communication. What is it you require? That'll be 1,000 credits for every gate we go through. No problem, pilot. We'll follow you to the station and await your freight.
Okay, so I googled it real quick, and the trick to finding supply mammoths is you basically go where the shipyards are. Apparently, Argon Prime and Cloud Base Southeast and Argon Space in this beginning territory have the two... have the shipyards, so yeah, I just went there and...
Shipyards are the heart and soul of modern society.
Okay, so
They
yeah,
are
we're getting a lot of the
factories gigantic
factories.
proportions, built to manufacture all types.
So what we're going to do is, let me see, can we communicate with ships? Property, hired, let's dock.
You are talking to the...
We're receiving your incoming communication. What is it you require? Affirmative.
Okay, so they're going to dock at the shipyard. I hope that's where I'm about to land. And, yeah, let's buy a station and get that up and running. At some point I want to get a docking computer, because then it makes you skip all this. You can just go from, like, dock to chunk and you're in.
Successfully docked.
On behalf of our President and Senator, the Argon Federation welcomes friends aboard.
Connection to local trading network established.
You are reminded that lottery tickets are available from all retail outlets in this station.
Okay. Landed ships. It's not here yet. Okay, good to know. Nope, that's not it. Make sure I'm at the right space. Where am I?
Argon space equipment docks are the locations in Argon territory for upgrading space vehicles.
I'm at the wrong place, but let me just see if there's anything here that I need. Okay, so let me head to the right place now. Undock. Going to the shipyard.
Docking granted. Autopilot activated.
Okay.
Successfully docked.
Landed
On
ships.
behalf of
Still
our
not here.
President and Senator, the Argon Federation welcomes friends aboard.
Connection to local trading network established.
Okay, so Kahuna Bakery was a possibility. We've got solar power plants. Ooh, they got an XL. I've got, I don't have 4.9 million in credits. I've got
Solar power plants
2.9.
produce energy. They are found everywhere in the known.
So I can definitely get a Kahuna Bakery large. So let's take a look at that. Let's, So here's a place to sell Kahuna Bakery stuff, but I don't know how to get what I'll need. So there's that. What's here in Orbelt? There's a Kahuna Bakery there. President's End. What do we got there? Honestly, this is not the worst place to put a... Because I think all of these
This facility produces the Hammer heavy
needs
torpedo.
meat steak Kahuna.
This production
Meat steak
complex
Kahuna.
This weapons forge
Meat steak
produces
Kahuna.
this production facility.
So here's 4 things that need meat steak Kahuna. Now the question is, how far do you have to go to get the beef? That's the problem. Which is why I kind of liked the other place. Because you could get the... So here you got a bunch of cattle ranches and the bakery right there, but that was not true in Heron's Nebula, was it? Where you've got... Nope, that's not
Will
it.
the pilot of the ship
Home of Light.
ID 16457 please clear the docking bay? Your docking permit has expired.
Cattle ranch. This place... Cloud-based Northwest. There's a lot going on here. I feel like...
A rhymes fact is the man. Ore mines are.
Yeah, but they don't need... Cloud-based Northwest had the ranches without... I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it... Cloud-based Southeast. Maybe that's not a bad place. Cloud-based Southwest. What's going on there? Because there's at least a couple of jumps between here and the nearest... So, yeah, let's do Cloud-based Southeast. Landed ships. Can I... Just gonna undock so I can use the SETA drive to get the Mammoth where I want it to be. Let me just double check. Boom. Property. I'm gonna select this as a target.
Argon. Supply. Mammoth.
So there, you can see it, making its approach, so I've stopped. So I know I'm not going to be in the way, so I'm going to let it use set at a time compress its landing. There again, you see it on approach. So we might not actually need it to...
No aim.
I don't think we're going to need the ship to,
Docking granted. Autopilot activated.
jump it through any gates, but I think we do need it to
Argon
tow it
shipyard.
around. So during the pause, I actually canceled the mission I was going to have my other ship run. I sent it to a shipyard to get some upgrades, I think. Not a shipyard, a different building to get it a couple of upgrades, like the price locators and stuff like that. And I might have it run...
Successfully docked.
On behalf of our President and Senator, the Argon Federation welcomes friends aboard.
Connection to local trading network established. Kahuna bakeries are huge orbit factories processing Argnu beef into meat steaks. Armies of robots are needed to maintain the complex process. During more than a dozen stages, the raw meat is slowly processed into the food product generally known as meat steaks.
Do I get a large or a medium? That's the question. I'm going to get a medium.
Kahuna Bakery bought. Kahuna bakeries are huge orbit
Okay, let me get some distance. Let me communicate with the mammoth.
You are talking?
We're receiving your incoming communication. What is it you require? Affirmative.
Okay, so we're going to do this, but what I need to do is I actually need to... find a place for it. And I honestly don't know how to do that.
The Argon Mammoth is a heavy transporter ship, usually...
So we can go north or west. Those are the two gates. So we put it near to a gate, or maybe between the two. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, let me kill the engines. Let me see if I can figure out how to deploy this.
Argon Supply Mammoth. The Argon Mammoth is a heavy...
Oh, interesting. Got all the charts you might need. But what I need to do is I need to...
You are talking to the automated interrupt.
We're receiving your incoming communication. What is it you require?
Okay, please drop my freight here. And when we do this, it's going to give us a map of where to put it. So there's two things we can do. We can...
It's okay to start unloading your freight now. Hey,
Whoop.
pleasure working for you.
Luckily, I think it's not a bad spot, but you can sort of move the map around a little bit. You could just do X, Y axis. You could do Z depth. There we go. Just built a factory. So now let's check in with said factory. So you're getting a little symbol there because it doesn't have anything it needs. And what we need to do now...
Kahuna bakeries are huge orbit factories processing
It needs
Argnu
energy
beef
cells
into
and
meat steaks.
Argnu beef.
Armies
So
of
we're going to be
robots
willing
are
to
needed
pay
maintain
16.
the complex process during more than a dozen stages.
So let's, Okay, so we're willing to pay 16.
You can specify at which price other factories and their... You can specify at which price the freighters working for this factory should buy resources.
So you're seeing meat steak kahunas, 72 is the average credit we can sell for 72. 56 is the bracketed price here. What that means is as long as we're selling above 56, we'll be making a profit if this is what we're buying at. So what I might do is I need to transfer some credits. I'm going to give it, say, 100,000. Nope, not a million. Let's give it, 266 to
Funds
get
transferred.
some starting money. So yeah, what that's going to allow it to do is it's going to allow it to buy on its own. Let me check my tanker. It's at the HQ, so let's trade. I'm going to get it a Best Buy locator, best price locator.
Selling price locator.
Just get it everything.
Bioscanner
Skip a jump
installed.
drive. We've got that. Get it the best trade command software.
Trade command software MK3 installed. The transporter device is a development based on the remains of the jump drive, first introduced with the experimental ship and reverse engineered by the best scientists of all races. Using this device, you can move from one ship into another within a range of 5 km without using your spacesuit.
Okay, I'm going to get that just to make it easy to...
Transporter device installed.
Okay, so we've done that. So now we're going to start... Oops, I didn't mean to click it off. But now we're going to go to my property, we're going to go to this ship, and we're going to get it to start doing stuff for us. Let's do some orders, command consoles. We're going to want to trade. Remote Best Buy. Let's look for someplace with a lot of... Not ore. We're looking for either beef or solar cells. You would think Home of Light? No. The wall has 2 solar plants. Okay, so let's go there. What about the hole? Hole's got big ones. You know what I mean? Say no more, say no more. For energy cells. I don't know what that means. So here's what we're going to do to start, because I don't know what that means. I'm going to go back to my property. We're going to tell this guy to trade. Nope. We're going to tell this guy. We're going to look for Best Buys. We're going to look for... but that's only in the... Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this tanker to that... No, start sector trade. I'll have to look that up, but I want to buy from... Was it the hole? That had extra large alpha? Yeah, so let's do that. Energy cells. By 2,000, I guess?
Command accepted.
And then we're going to bring it... Well, whatever. In the meantime, let me start doing some stuff. Let me see what I can find. We need wheat. Not wheat.
Kahuna Bakeries.
Argnu beef. So let's start finding some Argnu beef.
Docking granted. Autopilot activated.
I also need to figure out where to buy satellites. I think I've spent some money and I'm ready to start dropping satellites and getting real-time prices.
Entering system. President's End.
I wish there was a way to, like, sort of automate your own ship. I don't know if this is... Maybe this is defeating the purpose then, but if there was a way for me to just say, hey, I want to set this ship up for a little while to do runs of this beef. Like, go to this sector, use the best price finder, grab the cheaper one, load up, head back.
System. Home of Light.
I just don't know if that's an option, though. A lot of people turn off the verbose ship computer, and I probably will at some point. I haven't yet, just because, as I've talked about in the first one, I just have a lot of nostalgia, like hearing that automated voice.
Entering system. Argon Prime.
Brings back a lot of memories, and so it's like a comfort food in a way. You know, I just sort of like, oh yeah, the good old days.
Entering system. Ringo Moon.
Now, I'll probably drop the price on my kahuna meat steaks a little bit below average just to try and get people to... Because again, I can go down to 56, so maybe if I go to like 68, 65...
Successfully docked.
On behalf of our President and Senator, the...
Our connection to local trading network established. Docking granted. Autopilot activated.
And given the length of this run, this might be the smarter thing for my massive one to do. Or maybe I get a second one. I get one doing solar cells, one doing runs of the beef here. So I think I can still afford a second transport ship.
Entering system. Argon Prime.
And then again, even if I can afford it, if I just spend 15 minutes in the stock market, I'd have 20 million credits. So I feel like that's going to be one of those things where I'm going to have to use self-discipline to not use it.
Entering system.
Unless there's like, hey, let me just do this real quick because I just want to get this one thing and whatever. I think it's going to be that kind of choice.
Entering system. President's End.
I will say, as much as I get anxiety about anything, where to place a station gives me great anxiety because I'm like, oh my god, what if I just do this wrong and it screws everything up, and none of it matters. But I
Entering system, Cloud Base southeast.
do get a little tense when I'm like pulling the trigger on that. Okay, so we're coming in hot to our...
We scanned your ship and did not find any illegal goods on board. Thanks for your cooperation.
Yeah, so we're coming in hot into the actual station. We're about to drop off our first...
Successfully docked.
Welcome back on board.
Connection to local trading network established.
Trying to figure out how to trade when it's your own dock. Let me go to freight. Can I just
Agnew.
Nope. Okay, so we've got 2,000 Argnew beef. Actually, I screwed myself.
Agnew originally roamed wild over the
Can't
lower
get more,
foothills
so
of
I
the
just
Argonne.
screwed that up. Let's set this,
Energy cells are the unified energy storage.
so I'm not paying
used
enough to get somebody to
throughout-
give me energy cells. So let me adjust station parameters. Let's be willing to pay
You can
18.
specify it with new price selected.
I imagine we could probably turn this down a little bit because we got filled up so quickly.
The freighters working for this factory
Let's do
should
90.
New price selected.
And then we're going to sell for, let's do 68.
You can specify at
Do
which
65.
price other factories and their transporters can buy. New price selected.
Okay, so now that we've done that, let's check and see where our other ship is. I was gonna say, can I put it on a monitor? Let's put it on the right monitor. I thought there was a way to... Okay, that's good enough though. So let's okay, they're in the hole, which is here. They're trying to get to... They're actually almost at their...
Command accepted.
Clearly, I don't understand the order system quite yet. What I was hoping to do is just have it get the best price of those two and come back, but whatever at this point.
Mercury is the latest addition to the Argonne merchant fleet, and it is a worthy success.
Actually, what I need to do is I need to... Great, so it hasn't bought yet. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to get there, and then we're going to have it land here. And yeah.
Command accepted.
Now the question is, can we watch? So I was doing some Googling. There's the navigation satellites, which just give you the price. But if you have the advanced satellites, which I sort of know where to buy those, they're more expensive by potentially twice as much. I think you can get video feed. So maybe that would allow us to see our ship if I had one in this system. I'm not sure. So it looks like it's about to dock. And there we go. Got 7,600 worth of energy cells, basically, which I think is going to be more than our station can handle. So let's get it here, and then maybe I'll see if I can sell it somewhere. But it sounds like it... Oh, you know, maybe I can have it do a run of, like, beef and... Like, maybe it can do a loop. It gets beef, gets energy cells, comes back. Maybe I can do that. Because my station can only handle 2,000 beef. So if then I've got 2,000 beef, 2,000... Yeah, I could just tell it, like, get... Yeah, maybe I'll... We're going to give this a shot. See if if it all works. And then I might stop this session, and that'll be the end of this check-in. We got a station up and running. We got a ship running goods between facilities. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Okay, so we still don't have...
Bakeries are huge orbit factories processing Argnu beef into meat steaks.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so...
Armies of robots are needed to maintain the complex process. During more than a dozen stages, the raw meat is slowly processed into the food product generally known as meat steaks.
Okay, I paused it there just to save everybody the agony of watching this thing move in slow motion. So our ship is now in President's End, one station, one jump away from Cloud Base Southwest, so now it should be here in our...
Mercury Tanker XL.
And we're going to watch it dock.
We are scanned.
We scanned your ship and did not find any illegal goods aboard. Thank you for your cooperation.
Autopilot activated.
Now the station only has like 56,000 credits left, so I think it really dropped a chunk of change on that beef. But that's okay. So again, what I think... Yeah, we'll get this loaded, we'll see our station up and running. And yeah, so now we're getting a video feed, so it must be because we're in the same area. So I think the things I might start working on before the next check-in, I don't know what will be the trigger point for that. This was easy. It's like, let's buy some ships, let's get a station going. But I'll definitely get some satellites up and running. And see how much that helps things out. Figure out the order system for my ship, so I'm not floundering so much. Yeah, with that. I guess I can... Oh.
Autopilot off.
Before I make everybody sick. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look. Did our ship dock? That's the first thing. Still going in. You can see it over there on the right monitor. It's just about docked, though. Very nice.
No aim.
Okay, so it is now docked. So let's go to, again, my...
Incoming message.
Let me see if it's here. Okay, so it only took some, so we still have a lot left. I thought I could take all of them. Oh, maybe it bought some, though. Okay. So now what I need to do then is... Let me see if I can... Let me see what I can do here. First and foremost, let's go to our Kahuna factory. See, it's not blinking yellow anymore. Don't know what that does, so I won't worry about it. Okay. What I might do is I might give a little bit more money, just in case. Maybe not that much. Another $250 just for walking around money. And then, yeah, it's going to start production. What I'm going to do is actually let me land at it.
Docking granted. Autopilot activated. Successfully docked.
Welcome back on board.
Connection to local
there you
trading
go.
network established.
We've made 40 out of 6,664 potential meat steak kahunas. I don't get why it can't handle... It's got space for more, so let me see if I can... I'm not sure why my ship didn't unload the whole thing. Because it looks like it can... It has the capacity for 10,000. So I'm not sure why... Well, I'll figure that out. But yeah, so there you go. So our station is up and running. It is now making meat steak kahunas, and hopefully, you know, once I smooth out the process, yeah, we can get this a little bit more self-sustaining with the help of our trading ship, and you know, make it so we're not actually having to buy anything from random traders. It's all being supplied by my one ship there. So that's going to be the goal. I'll start figuring that kind of stuff out. But yeah, once again, thanks for checking this out. I genuinely am having a great time with this, even though it's, again, not the most exciting, fast-paced, white-knuckle experience out there, but it's been fun getting to this point. I will say, like I said, the stock exchange was both a blessing and a curse. It saved me a lot of time and headaches, but it also feels like it's going to be a crutch that I pop out whenever I'm like, ugh, I just don't want to do this. So I don't know if that's going to take the wind out of the sails of the experience of this a little bit, but at the same time, it'll keep it from getting as frustrating as it could be. So thanks again for checking this out. If you're watching this, you found our YouTube channel, like and subscribe if this is your thing. We're mostly a tabletop RPG actual play kind of thing. Currently, at the time of this recording, we've got Matt's Symbaroum going on. We just finished the second chapter of our Mithras Imperative Cold War spy game. So that's the thing. So if you prefer audio versions of our actual plays, just search for Black Lodge Trivia Night wherever you get your podcasts, and we should show up. But as always, thanks again, and yeah, we will definitely be back with more space trucking, more CRPGs, Lord of the Rings Online, more whatever, all of it. Thanks again.